Hi everybody, welcome again to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about harvesting, not really harvesting, but we're moving around your tilapia fries and why is this necessary. Alright, so here you're looking at a batch of roughly about nearly 400 fries, right? Well, I don't know if they are still fries, but they are not fingerlings as yet. I don't think they reach half-inch, well, some of them. And if you look at, I am unable, well, not that I'm unable to, I could, but you wouldn't see anything because the water is green as you see. And I'm not in the mode of getting the water crystal clear. Reason being is because the small fish will practically nudge at the planktons and the algae in the water and that actually spur growth. Now these are roughly about 2.5 weeks old, and they are doing really good. But if you notice the size of some of these fries, right? The size of some of these fries, some of them are really tiny, right? While some of them are like reaching the half-inch mark. And I think by the looks of things, some of them might even be experiencing some amount of predation. Meaning that the larger ones will actually consume the smaller ones. Now this is a 270-gallon tote, and this is the tote that is crumpling underneath the pressure of the water because there's no frame, right? So I actually allowed it to stay. It was about here originally, but rain fell over the past couple of days and actually brought it up to here. I am wanting to actually release some of the water, but I can't at the moment because if I do, it will be just issues as far as water quality for these fish. I did an experiment the other day and I lost probably about a dozen and a half of these fish. I really need to allow the water to settle for at least 2 days before I actually change over the water. Now, I have been feeding them crushed tilapia feed that is made by Hypro and Nutrimix, right, in Jamaica, right? And whilst the smell of the feed is not really wonderful, and the after effect of the feed is not wonderful, meaning that whatever is not consumed by the fish is actually contributing to, well, that's practically with every feed, contributing to the deterioration of the water. The feed doesn't really float at the top, so therefore if the fish doesn't go for it at the time in which I actually place it in the water, it will sink to the bottom and give more issues. Here you have some fries actually trying to consume this car stick that I placed, one single car stick I placed in the water. I want to see if they would actually go for it, and yes, they are going for it. As usual, tilapia from small fries to adult, they nudge at anything once they are hungry. Now, what I like about tilapia is that from the get-go, right, they start to color up. Look at this pink, nice, beautiful tilapia, right? And you have some yellow ones in there, and you have some ones with black dots at the top of the head and the tail, and you have some that are just looking so beautiful, as you would say, boy, you want to keep them as pet. Pity them and also later on a food that in my pot, yeah, they will be food on my table. Let's put it like that. Alright, so what I've done, I've actually used Elodea denser as a means of aeration for my pond. It is half. When I say pond, I mean container in which I keep them, right? It is not filled, so therefore the oxygen should be able to circulate at good pace. Reason mean that it's a lot of them. I wanted to place some amount of aeration, just as how I did with this system, where I have some amount of aeration with this is about roughly about 8 dozen, right? These tilapia should go over to the pond over on this side, right? And the larger ones here, the larger ones, I should remove them and consume them and allow the fingerlings that are in here. I'm trying to find one to show you. Yeah, see, I have some fingerlings in here. I wanted to sell them the other day, but I opted not to. I'm just gonna start a new batch of build stock. This video is gonna be a little bit lengthy because this just brings me to another discussion where in which persons when they're doing aquaponics they normally use tilapia, right? Because tilapia they consume a lot and they poop a lot, and it's just like an exchange. You get the fish and you get the vegetable and you get the food, right? But you actually trying to grow in the aquaponics setup. Now I'm supposed to do an aquaponics setup. It's not done as yet because of matters beyond my control. I had planned to do it during fall, meaning between September and December. That have actually fallen through. So I'll be doing it early spring next year. That's about probably between February and March. But the question is being asked as to which size tilapia is best used for aquaponics. Should I use the larger ones, right, or should I use the smaller ones like on this side, right? For most of the videos that I've actually seen, I've seen where persons have actually started aquaponics with fingerlings like this size, right? But there are a lot. I mean, like they will be like roughly about 200 fingerlings in one space, and water just being circulated, and eventually they be getting large like the ones in the I've just shown you a while ago, right? Based on the science of it all, it would be more prudent for you to use the larger ones. Yeah, it would be more prudent for you to use the larger ones, right? According to some scientists, right? And some would say that it would be best to use the fingerlings because you get more time with the fingerlings and you don't have to be pulling up the stopping the aquaponics system to pull out the large ones so as to use them, so as to replace them, right? I guess that's one of the arguments that they use. But to me, the larger ones would work better because the larger ones give off more poop. It gives off more nutrients to the plant, and the poop is more, I call it now, as I will say, boy, it's more potent than the smaller ones. Although the smaller ones, one would argue to say that the smaller ones poop in if you should weigh the amount, you would say that the smaller ones poop more than the larger one, because here I am having 8 dozen fingerlings, right? Over on that side, I think I have roughly about less than 1 dozen large ones, right? And feeding them 2 times a day, filtration system well up, I would say that the nutrients level will be potent more than the ones that are in here, right? It's a larger system here, with roughly about 8 dozen, as I said before, and the larger ones you can't really have so much tilapia within one space. So the waste, the nutrients within the larger tub, well, the tub that is over there, right? This tub is a little bit more potent than, yeah, is a little bit more potent than the one over on that side, right? This is an argument that show the aquaponics setup series in which I have started to prepare some videos, but they have not yet come to fruition. To be honest, I need to get 2 pumps, 2 larger pumps than this. But the 2 pumps are not available right now, so I have to wait until when the suppliers do have the 2 pumps, and then I try to actually put everything to play, right? I'll be starting everything from the start to the finish, and you should be able to see the fruits of that labor, right? But the aquaponics project is still on board, guys. Is just that I'm waiting on a really awesome economical pump system so as to fuel the whole process, right? So I believe that if you use the larger ones, for example, if I have, let's say, a couple of 4 months, 5 months old adult size tilapia in this system, roughly about a dozen and a half, the waste should be potent enough so as to supply the plants, the vegetable garden, whatever I'm doing in the aquaponics. Some scientists, some experienced person within the field might counter that argument to suggest that the fingerlings would give you more time to actually start and to finish, see your vegetables or your garden, your aquaponics system through to the end. You don't have to be pulling it up to actually, replacing fish or to use the fish, because the fish are getting large, and the larger they get, the more difficult it is to, have everything run appropriately, because the larger ones are gonna be pulling things apart, and it's just gonna wreak a lot of destruction within the system. You might have a lot of breeding taking place, and you're gonna have to pull up to get out the fries, or probably to do the separation and to do a lot of things. So that's another argument, right? The fingerlings, they're gonna breed, but they're not gonna breed so profusely like the adults. The adults can breed like 5 dozen, 10 dozen, one adult female, 5 dozen, 10 dozen fries within one batch. The fingerlings will breed, but they won't breed so much, like probably about a 1 dozen or less per batch. So this is something that I hope that you are looking for, guys, and I'm looking forward to it also, because I'm really excited. I was really pumped for it, but I just have to wait until that moment where it's possibility exists. So back to this setup now with this. I think it's about roughly about 400. Yeah, and this is not exaggeration. It's a serious thing, right? It's about 400 here, plus I have another 200 or more in other spaces around in those containers. Let me see if I can find, let's see if I can show you one. Alright, so this is one of the spaces in which I have some really small. They were at the top a while ago. They went down, right? I have roughly about 100 in this, and then I have probably about another 100 around another space around there. So tilapia is doing really good, and it is hope that you will appreciate the share. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying out a different video editing software. I'm not used to it as yet, so bear with me as I try to integrate my old system with the new system. So you will see a lot of changes in some of my videos as I go along. It's not that I am evolving too fast. It's just that I'm kind of stepping back to move forward. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Appreciate everything. Appreciate your support, your time, your energy, and your feedback on the videos. Bye bye for now, guys. Peace out. Catch you next time.